Hello, this is Elizabeth, and you are on the Dandy Soap Herb Shop channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have been talking to you about inflammatory breast cancer and my recent diagnosis. Today was my first chemo treatment. It is a long drawn out process. It has a lot of moving parts, and there are many people involved in the care of you, taking care of you and making sure that your medications are put in a timely manner in the right order. That's very, very important. The great thing is, they tell you all along the way and they prepare you so that you know what to expect. They also call out to you things that they really need you to express to them if it's happening with you during the process, and then that way they can handle it right away. So here was my visit. Generally, on the first one, they have you scheduled for a consult, and that's generally with either the PA, the practice assistant, so that's going to be the doctor's assistant, a PA, and then you're going to meet up with the individuals who will be administering your medication. Also, you will get to meet someone who may be discussing with you drug interactions, things that you should or should not take, or if there is something that you need them to look up. For example, if you take herbal supplements, vitamins, anything that is not a prescription ordered by your oncologist team that's taking care of your cancer. So let me tell you the very first part. You'll get checked in, and of course, there's going to be a wonderful nurse to come in, and she's going to take your vitals. She's going to make sure that she asks you questions, and she's also going to remind you if there's anything particular that you would like to ask, to have that list ready. If you've written out some questions that you want to cover, that would be a good time. And they are going to give you a complete consultation. Now, you had already been in for your first consultation when they're telling you what the game plan is, what they've laid out as the proper way to attack and cure your cancer. So you've already had that meeting. But when you go for your first chemo treatment day, you're a real special guest. And so you're going to have the red carpet rolled out for you. And they're going to walk you through all these steps and things that's going to happen to you, what you can expect, making sure that if there's anything that they did, maybe your schedule got turned about, maybe your medication has been switched, maybe the intervals of your prescription medication versus your treatment, any changes, now everything has been finely tuned and tweaked so that when you arrive, they are ready for you. And as I said, they roll out the red carpet. They know exactly what they're going to do and the plan of attack. So get excited. So when I first arrived, I checked in. I was my vitals were taken by the licensed nurse practitioner, and they have registered nurses, but most of the time when you're dealing with oncology, these are a higher level of licensures of people that's going to actually be interacting with you. So just be aware of that. They are more highly skilled and a lot more experienced, and most of them specialize in the treatment of cancer, and specifically, like the area I'm going to, breast cancer. So they have a lot of information that they can help you with. They are very knowledgeable, and they can literally answer just anything you can think of. They can answer it. It's amazing. And I had a score of questions. I don't even know what my all-time record is, guys, but I can tell you I am a question asker, and I am always working on a solution or a better method, a better way, a shorter way to get there, easier, less difficulty, less stress, all of those things. And because of my background, I've always been really, really good at research. So I'm going to ask tons of questions, and you cannot ask enough. Trust me. And if you got a whole list, They have a phone number. You can call them and talk to them. Like they have two phone numbers, one for daytime and one for nighttime, and somebody will answer that phone. That is an absolute. Please follow every instruction, read every paper they give you, and make sure that you are communicating with them. You now have a team of people who are working hard to cure your cancer and save your life. You're in good hands. And if you're not getting that response from your team, reconsider your team, because they truly are a team. They are a meeting of the minds. They've done sit down. They have gathered all their information and intel. They've looked at all your data. They've gone over every single aspect of it. And if there's anything that pops out that they are concerned about, you're going to be sent for another test. I'll get to that later. So after this, my PA comes in, who is the direct assistant. She only has one PA. My oncologist has one PA for her entire clinic for all of her patients. And other than the oncologist herself, she's the only one that I'm going to encounter as far as on the doctor licensing level. Anything to do with prescriptions and medication and, stuff like that, approvals and things like that. Anything she can delegate, it will be handled by the other staff who are also professionally licensed, but they do not have a doctorate. So let me get to it. After she spent, well, over 30 minutes with me, probably more like 45 minutes, answering all of my questions, making sure I had a good understanding. I had offered to her if there was something I could use generically for some of the medicines that they wanted me to take. I also figured out, most importantly, that my regimen was lined up wrong. Also, my dosage amount and how frequent I take it was incorrect. Mine had to be changed up, and I mean, I'm talking completely flipped from what it was. It was still the same medications, but the intervals and the amount were different. Very important on certain cancers, and depending on which therapy and which stage of therapy you're being treated. Also, making sure that she went back over the information about with chemotherapy, um, contact, how to safeguard the people that you love, as well as out and about in public, and the do's and don'ts, as well as how long you can expect. Also, how important it is to make sure that your area is as bacterial and infectious free as possible, because, well, your immune system is being suppressed and shut down by the chemotherapy. So, there are times when the immunity system your white blood cell count may be so low that they're not even able to give you your treatment. And they want to make sure that you're aware of this. So it's vitally important that you stay hydrated, drink plenty of liquids, and make sure you get a lot of leafy greens and protein and electrolytes into your body. It will help with the chemo working and protect your vital organs. It is so important that they protect your heart and your kidneys, because chemotherapy with this catheter I wear, it goes through my jugular vein down into my heart. So it's the tube of it stops just above the opening of my heart, and it goes down the right side of that heart into that jugular vein, main artery. Additionally, keeping your site clean, keeping this protected, not saturating this until it's well healed. As you can see, mine is still going through many changes. Also, making sure that you understand how important it is to protect yourself from any kind of germs or exposure. Because things are so modern now and the improvements that they've made, I want you to bear some things in mind as I tell you my story. So I'll go through all my spiel on what you can expect next, and then I'm going to explain to you some key takeaways on this that will help you feel better. So if you feel you need to, and this first part doesn't really interest you, you can fast forward and move along to that part. I'll try to do chapters if possible so that I can share that with you. Now, some of this will tell you about advancements in medicine and the methods in which they use to administer it. As you know, this is a fairly new device. Very interesting how this works. And I assure you, you're going to appreciate it. It takes a lot of getting used to, and I'll cover that at another time. But just rest assured, it's no more worrying about in the vein. It all happens right here, and it's quite an object. So when you have your vitals taken, then you'll have your consult. They'll answer all your questions thoroughly before they make another move. They want to make sure that you're okay, you understand, and all is well with you. At this time, they're going to also ask you questions about anxiety, depression, pain. Be honest with them. And let me assure you, you are in a safe place. So if you need to cry, if you need to cuss, if you need to yell, if you need to express yourself, you're in a safe place. And I assure you, you will not be the first and you won't be the last. It is okay. This is a very emotional time in your life. And the people who are there, who know the answers, who really can give you what you need, that assurance, and to feel better, they they deal with it all the time, consistently with many patients. Some take it well, some don't. Some's been through it before, back in there again. First time's out, confused, questions, need clarity, need assurance. And I have literally heard my oncologist say, cure my cancer, directly to my face. We're going to cure your cancer. Today, the PA looked straight at me and she said, because we're going to cure your cancer. Now, I want you to know, those are music to your ears. They are words that at the moment you're having difficulty believing, but you want to hold on to it. I mean, you want to hold on to it. So do that. Hold on to that. And just know they really are pulling for you. They're pulling for you. And they're going to use all of your data. They're going to use everything they're learning about you, from personality traits, reactions to the medications, questions you may ask, things that you use to help yourself, things that you do for comfort, how your everyday life is going, if you feel safe in your home, if you feel safe around the people that you live in the home with. They're literally going to gather all that information, and they are going to listen like with intent, like they're truly undivided attention right on what you're saying. They will also use this in their case studies and in their continuous, man, research. They're just continually researching constantly because they want to figure out a way that they've got a surefire direct line to cure your cancer. Some of them have been successful and they found a direct line cure, and then others have eluded them, just as this one I'm dealing with. But they've had great results, so they're going at my case with the ones that have had the best results for a cure, and the fact that they're saying that word, we're going to cure your cancer. So I'm leaning into it. I'm just going to let that go through my mind, ponder it, and lean into it. So the next thing they're going to do is they're going to have the ladies who administer your medication. These are all licensed nurses. They are specialists in what they do. They know how to handle the chemicals. They do dress hazmatedly. They put on a big overcape like they're going into surgery, gloves all the way on, mask, and then they're explaining things to you, and then they're putting this stuff into your line. They've already got your line going when you first arrived and you got your vitals taken. She's already put her hazmat outfit on, and she's went ahead and pierced your catheter. And so this band-aid is afterwards, but she puts that on. It's a whole unit. They put a mask over it so it's protected, it doesn't shift or move, and then that has a pigtail on it, and then that's what they're going to be tying all of your medicine bags into. When you get back there, the first thing they're going to do is they write on a dry eraser board everything that you got to have, and it's written out. It also, at the very top, they will have the individuals that will be administering your medication. So there's generally two. They work in tandem with each other because you're not the only one receiving treatment. And that way, as they administer these to you, they check them off. And then it's time for the next one. The machine is set up on a timer, per se, so it knows when the medication has completed, and it begins to beep with an alarm, so they know to come and push that fluid on out and then attach the next one. So they have to go through that whole thing again. They have to put their hazmat outfit back on, the gloves, the robe, and the mask, and go through the whole process each time. So by the time they get done with you, they've done it about 5 times. Well, the first ones aren't so bad, just during the chemotherapy, so it's maybe twice. But on those first ones, what's really neat, this is the advancement, another advancement. They load you up with all of these meds to help fight the nausea and the vomiting, and hopefully the other end of you as well. Like, they dump a lot of meds into you. And so that little session right there is, that's going to take, 10 to, I think 20 minutes to do all 3 of those, because I have 3. And so it takes about 20 minutes to get them all in there. Now, once they do that, they will make sure that the line is clear. They'll put their hazmat outfit on. They've already been taking your vitals, and they're going to put the first, mine is a 2-stage or 2-level chemotherapy. So the big one, the major one, is the Red Devil. It is red. That's why they call it Red Devil. Yes, it is a very caustic thing. That the reason why this mask is put over this catheter and all this protection, and making sure that it does not leak out of your pigtail or get on your skin. So they make sure to take extra measurements. 1, protect your catheter. Number 2, protect your outer skin. As long as it's going into the body, you're okay. But externally, it can, well, it will eat the skin. Very caustic stuff and powerful. Now, that one takes roughly an hour. It takes a long time. It's a very big bag. It's, I think, a liter or so. And they'll put that into you. So once it finishes, they will then put in the secondary one. That one doesn't have to go very long, usually about 10 minutes if it's running consistently. So it takes about 30 minutes for it, an hour for the Red Devil. You got basically 30 minutes on the pre-meds. Those pre-meds are for nausea, vomiting, and to help you get your system to be able to handle it so that you don't start barfing it up. Then the next hour is the Red Devil, and then the next 30 minutes is going to be the second part of your chemotherapy. And then you will get fluids to follow, so that takes about 30 minutes. So at this point, this is your first visit, and it's going to take 2.5 hours just for the medicine. They're going to make sure that you're okay, you've been handling it, and everything's all right. A lot of times they will already ask you, can they bring you something to drink? They will have like snacks, like they'll have potato chips and pretzels and cookies and different little snack things that you're welcome to. Most of the time they bring them to you, or if you have somebody with you, that is staying with you while you take your treatment. They'll go get it for you because, well, you got your line hooked up and you need to sit in your chair and be comfy and keep yourself occupied. They have a television in there where you can watch TV. You can take a book to read. You can journal. You can crochet, knit. Take your bag. Make sure you bring a drink with you. They will offer you a drink. They'll have a variety, and they will also bring that to you. I opted for ginger ale, and I did later on end up eating some pretzels. That salt, getting that saline in you, so I was drinking bottled water and getting that. I started out with my coffee. I then went through my coffee. And they'll generally give you a paper that will tell you how much you should hydrate. Remember, hydration with chemotherapy is, I cannot express it enough for a lot of reasons. This is the one I want you to take away from this video. The more fluids that you keep in your body, the less damage that can be done to your kidneys and vital organs, because you are now diluting the solution after it's run through your bloodstream and went through your body and secreted through your kidneys. Now you're keeping it diluted, and that's going to protect your vital organs. So they're going to warn you on the red devil, your urine is going to look orange, and it did. Like literally the first time I urinated, I got up from my therapy. I said, well, let me try to use the bathroom. And sure enough, it was just all of it is orange. And sometimes that can last 2 or 3 days. So, yeah, that fast. I just took the therapy. By the time I finished everything, and it was already going through me. So, staying hydrated is real important. The other thing about hydration is I had heard from other cancer patients who have already been through the war express hydrate, hydrate, keep you something to drink, constantly sip on something, keep something to drink, because it will make your side effects, for most people, not everybody, but for most people, it will make them more milder. Now, anything that you can do to tolerate those side effects, do it. And if hydration is all that I need to do that can help me tolerate outside of taking the medication itself, absolutely. And I mean, just keep your liquids in you. Don't get hung up on it has to be water. If you drink coffee, a lot of times they'll tell you try to stay away from caffeine drinks because caffeine is dehydrating. But I am a huge coffee drinker. I drink probably a half a gallon minimum a day. That's my regular everyday lifestyle. Um, that's just something I've always done. And juices, they'll offer you juices. I did opt for ginger ale. They offered all these soft drinks, which blew my mind because she had done told me to stay away from caffeine drinks, but everything they named was a caffeine drink. So I went with the clear one with the ginger ale. I'd already done my coffee, and then I had a bottle of water. And I drank that full bottle of water before I got home. Um, so staying hydrated, staying hydrated. And I will tell you that the meds that they put in you, they do kind of they made me a little dizzy. Like, not dizzy, dizzy, but more like a high. So let me say high versus dizzy, because if you've ever drank a beer or alcohol or wine, just that right at the beginning of that buzz, when you first get that buzz, that's what you feel like. So it's kind of glorious because they've just put in all those meds to protect your body and to avoid nausea. So you might feel a little buzzy, you know, and for that, it's very short lived, but you still feel a little buzzy. And so be careful when you walk. Make sure that you're holding on to someone or something so that you don't fall or tumble. Because with chemotherapy, you definitely don't want to get a wound, a scratch, or any of that. Because remember, your immune system is being brought down. Your white blood cell count is going to drop. And so your ability to heal wounds um, will be less and longer. And you take a chance on getting an infection. And if you do that, then you have to stop your chemotherapy to get healed up. So You want to not get hurt, scratched, or any kind of wound at all, because you want to keep your chemotherapy going so you can kill the cancer. Um, so here's the modern takeaways. I was able to leave. My husband attended with me, and thank God he was there. He has been my anchor, and it is. I will flirt with that conversation more later because it's important to me, and he's my hero. I love that man, but I love him even more. I didn't think I could possibly love him any more than what I do now, than what I did. And now that this has happened, I love him even more. And it's because I'm seeing a side of him that I'm coming to know. And I believe that I'm getting a great opportunity to see the side of a man who's always been kind of passive, quiet man. And now I am seeing this warrior. I'm seeing a side of him. He's always been an amazing provider, but I'm seeing a side of him that's tender and compassionate and merciful and yielding grace and extremely protective. Um, he was kind of protective before, but I mean like really protective. He has developed an issue with inconsiderate, incompassionate individuals that before he'd just mutter something and move on, but now it's like vendetta. I'd say vendetta, but I mean he has no tolerance as like this, and so even I've had to just call upon him that I'm okay. I am okay. It's real. I'm okay. Um, and we are learning each other, and we've had to spend a great deal of time together. We have spent more time together since this happened than we have in 32 years of marriage, and that's no lie. I mean, I don't care if it was a vacation, a fishing trip, just here in the house in general around our homestead. We've never spent this kind of time together ever. And most couples say, well, we spend a lot of time together. Not he and I. I don't know if it was just our upbringing or the type of people we are, but that's just I like it. I've loved it. I've always wanted to spend a lot more time with him. Where with him, he was more independent, and as far as like, well, his time was committed elsewhere. He wasn't like thinking of the now. And with this, it's changed his perspective and his point of view. Well, anytime you have someone you love that you might lose, you are more apt to pay closer attention to what the heck's going on. So he's busy taking care of me and looking after me and making sure I've got everything I need and that we cover all the bases. We do everything they tell us to do. We follow instructions and we follow it to the letter. Advancements in medicine. Not so long ago, and I mean, we're just talking just a number of years, probably less than 5 years. I know for a fact less than 5 years, at least. This new catheter thing has come about. They are now, enjoying that for cancer patients. Not every one of the cancer patients have it. So certain cases, I guess, they deem that this is a necessity, and depending on the duration and length of the cancer treatment, um, they install these. Otherwise, they do it in your vein. Matter of fact, when we left the clinic, there was a gentleman there receiving cancer treatment, chemotherapy as well, and it was in his vein. They did not do a catheter. Um, so just letting you know, those are advancements. So there's one. Number two, used to when you received treatment for cancer, it was done in the hospital. You were admitted into the hospital and you stayed in there through the entire treatment time to take treatment to defeat cancer, whether it be chemotherapy, radiation, or surgery, and or all the above. So another advancement, you don't have to be admitted into the hospital to receive treatment. So they're able to do this on an outpatient basis. We've also found that by treating the individual out, to come to the facility and be able to leave the facility, that their um, livelihood extends because they're getting the love and the support. So there's one thing to your what's the word I'm looking for? I know the comment I'm trying to make. Your quality of life improves vastly. Your ability to heal and be cured improves vastly because of the quality of life. You are able to maintain some kind of order and normalcy, which guards against other issues, depression, stress factors. You may deal with anxiety, but a lot of times they can issue a medication that can help you get through that period of time and get you over that hump, to get you past that threshold and help you cope and adjust. There's also many programs that are available that were not available for unless you had like certain insurances or you were willing to pay for it on your own. So they'll have um, people who meet that are support groups. You may even be able to talk to a nutritionalist, which I think I would like to talk to a nutritionalist, and I'm going to actually ask them about that when I go, about could I get scheduled with like a nutritionist, dietitian or something, and just get some coaching on some ways, some food, and what would be the best sources for me that can aid in my healing. We eat good and we really cook next to natural, but with the chemotherapy and because of bacteria and infections, there's so many cautions that have to be taken, and it all starts with your food, what you're consuming, and what's coming into your home, and how you're preparing it. You can't have anything raw, absolutely nothing raw. So if you eat eggs, they need to be either scrambled and cooked all the way through, um, hard cooked yolk and whites, no running parts at all, and boiled, and things like that. Like just an egg. One, it's high in protein that you need when you're fighting cancer, but also to guard against any kind of potential bacteria, because with your immune system suppressed and your white blood cell count reduced, um, if there were anything in the egg per se, the raw part of it, your guard's down and things can enter into other things. So it's not the chemo or the per se cancer that might kill you. It could be a foreign bacteria that enters into your body and your body's not able to defend it. There's a lot of scares, but don't get scared. Okay, just bear with me. So I've given you a lot of information in this video, and hopefully it will give you comfort in knowing. Um, I'm wondering if the next few videos you see of me, if I will actually have hair, or if I will be at that point that I'm going to have to go ahead and clip it short, preparing for the alopecia to occur and to lose my hair. I have been told that generally with this treatment, 2 to 3 weeks, some people even get it to 4. Um, but for the strength of the chemo that I'm being given, I have been told by one that it would, about the 2 week mark. I've been told by another 2 week mark. But then when I met with the PA today, she said that sometimes it can take up to 3 weeks. Or by that point, it is almost completely gone. And, so sometimes 3 to 4, some people actually do hang on to their hair. It'll last 3 to 4 weeks. But usually, you know, things have already started losing their contact and coming out. With me being a licensed cosmetologist, I will probably take the leap. If I already lose hair as it is with postmenopause, but if I do happen to go through there and come out with a clump, yeah, it'll I'll go ahead. There's no need to wrestle with it, fight with it, and the quicker you can adjust, the better off you are. So pretty much, this chemotherapy, there will be no body hair. I've already been warned. Like even nose hair, hair on your arms, none on your legs, your pubic hair. You won't have to worry about chin or lips and eyebrows, and some people even lose their eyelashes. So we'll see how it goes. I've got about 5 months of treatments to endure. These first four are going to be rough ones, so they can only administer them once every 2 weeks. That's how tough they are. So tomorrow, I am scheduled to go for the growth injection. And what that does, it puts white blood cells back into the body, so it directly goes to the bone marrow to help your body produce more white blood cells to protect you, because all the chemo they've just put into you is going to wipe everything else, and now they need to give it strength to rebuild, and that assists the rebuild. Um, so more on that later. If you have any comments or questions, I am here. I am going through this journey, and as long as I'm able to, I will make videos to hopefully help others come across these videos who may be questioning if this is what they have, or questioning what to expect and what does happen, to help them in some way. And I pray that I am helping. That is the whole reason I'm making these recordings, because I want to be looking at these videos 5, 6, 7, 15, 20 years from now and going, look what you made it through. And be able to give any kind of updates that I can and see the amazing change. So that is my plan, is to keep on living and be here for a long time. And maybe making these videos in my own way gives me comfort that I am fighting. I have a strong spirit about me right now, and as long as I'm able to. Another thing to bear in mind with this is sickness. So the meds they put in me today are to uh, help me stay away from the nausea and vomiting for at least the first 24 hours, and sometimes into the second day. The third and fourth day are the roughest, from my understanding, when it really comes hardcore to fighting it. So they actually tell you to start taking your anti-nausea medicine like the following day, best I remember. In other words, get in front of it before it has a chance. I don't need to take anything today, but tomorrow I got to get in front of it and make sure that I take something. If that doesn't work after a couple of days and I really need, it's just not working, they have given me a secondary medication to take, that will basically make you drowsy and do away with nausea too. And it is kind of a tough one. So I will take it as a last resort if the nausea is too bad. But the main thing is keep you from being nauseated and vomiting, or at least make it tolerable to where you can get through it, because it's really hard on your system. And I will also tell you that I had shortness of breath when I was just trying to walk a regular distance that I'm pretty commonly used to walking. I did have a little bit, I was puffing as though I had walked a mile, or that I'd walked a long distance, like my heart rate was already up. So these are things you need to be aware of, what you can expect. So don't, on that first day when you get chemotherapy, don't don't think, oh, I can go back to work, because there are people that do that, and you shouldn't do that. Your body really needs that recoup time. So maybe go the next day if you can handle it. But I will tell you, it takes a toll on your body. And like I said, I was puffing, as though I had walked, and I had that dizziness about me. So I was holding on to hubby and handrails and just whatever. Also, trying not to put my hands in contact with anything to stay as germ free as I could, and wearing a mask, because I literally had just gotten chemotherapy, just left the facility. And more about that next test that I had to take today, on a separate video. and that was for my thyroid. So we'll see how that goes. All right. This is Elizabeth. Please leave your comments and questions. Any concerns, anything I can help you with, just drop it in the comment box. You can also submit it directly to my email if you just really want to talk to somebody. And on my website, I do have my actual shop/home phone number if you just really need a voice of assurance. I'm making those available. I'm not hiding them. I mean, it is my business number and everything. And if I'm not available, the machine will catch it. But just express what it is that you're calling about, and I promise you that will expedite you on the priority list of people I will call back first. So if you really, really just want to talk to somebody, or you have questions, and even if this video gets a lot of age on it, they should still be available unless something changes. So, you know, there is someone in your court. There is someone on your side. And there is someone who will listen and understand. You'll be able to ask questions and bounce things off of and give you a sense of grounding again to make you feel better. If you took it any way that I did, you need a voice like mine to hear. And that will get you through. It really will. So until the next video, this is Elizabeth with Dandy Soap Herb Shop. Thank you for visiting this channel. And for more videos like this, definitely subscribe. A thumbs up would be nice. Lets me and YouTube know you enjoyed the video and you'd like to hear more of the life. Till the next one.